Hi guys, welcome back to the Caffeinated Classroom and this week's edition of Teacher Tip Happy Hour, where I give you quick and actionable tips that you can use right now today in your classroom and beyond. Today we're going to talk about one of the greatest educational time sucks of all: grading, especially grading at the end of the year or towards the end of the year. I have 3 simple tips that will save you so much time and energy, and I can't wait to share them with you. So let's get started. Cheers! So I know just as well as any other teacher how easy it is to get stuck with piles and piles and piles of grading to do at any time of the year, but especially as the end of the year draws in. I mean, think about what we are doing. We are planning and prepping as engaging and as meaningful of lessons and activities and assignments and assessments as we can. And that takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of creative energy. It takes just a lot of energy, period, to get that stuff ready. Then when we're with our students, we are trying to be as present as possible because we know that true learning can happen when we are there to coach them along and to deliver instruction and then also coach from the sidelines as they are practicing. So that leaves very, very little time for actually going through, grading, and assessing the assignments that they turn in. Therefore, those piles get higher and higher and higher. And as the end of the year comes in, all of a sudden you've got more assignments coming in because those year-long projects or those more extended different types of activities and things, you get reflections for them and things start piling up and coming in. It's just part of the end of the year, right? Not necessarily. So I have 3 tips and 3 strategies that I use throughout the year, but that I really hone in for the end of the year so that I am not stuck that day before school gets out or that week of finals. I'm not a total stress case for any other reason than it's finals and there are other reasons to be stressed. I don't want grading to be the reason that I am stressed. Grading should actually be informing my teaching as I go. At the end of the year, let's not make it the thing that breaks our backs. So since there are sincerely never going to be more hours in the day and it's not like life is going to get less busy, I have 3 tips that I use in my own classroom that I've really developed these strategies to make things more efficient, to make things just work better, and I'm excited to share them with you. Here they come. So my first tip is to be mindful in what you assign. So a little bit about me. I say this in my classroom all the time. I'm very loud about it, both to keep myself accountable and to remind my students that I am not a busy work teacher. Anything and everything I give them to do, especially the stuff that they're going to turn in to me for grading, is going to have a purpose. That purpose for the stuff that gets turned in for grading is going to be that it is practicing a skill that they already have. It is honing a skill that they maybe need to recall. It is bringing in background knowledge. It is learning a new skill that I am teaching them. But anything and everything that they are doing is building towards something, especially if I am collecting it, grading it, and giving it back to them. That means that all of those little assignments, all of those projects, all of those quizzes are all building up to a big final project or assessment or writing piece or what have you. There are also things that I don't collect. There are also things that we do in class or that they do on their own that are still building towards that make the things that I do collect more successful or whatever. Or they are things that we do for the purpose of engaging, piquing interest, having fun. A lot of those assignments I'm not going to grade. That might be a credit, no credit kind of a thing. You were there and participating in earnest, therefore you have points. But like grading to me is really getting down and like reading and giving feedback and scoring on some sort of a scale. So like I feel like that's an important delineation to make. So I'm very mindful in what I assign. I'm only going to assign something that's going to be graded if it really does have a purpose, and that purpose is mindful and building towards something. So it all comes back to the planning process. And I'm going to have so many more planning tips for you in the weeks and months to come. So stay tuned for that. More on that to come. But that's my first tip for staying up on grading, is just being mindful in what you assign in the first place. If it's something that you don't necessarily need them to be doing, then why are they doing it, right? The second thing that really helps keep up with grading is on larger assignments like projects or a writing piece where you're doing the writing process as you go. Obviously, I'm an English teacher, so we do a lot of writing in my class, but to grade as you go, to set benchmarks and either collect or check in with students in the moment at their seat and assign points or a grade as we go. That has so many benefits to their learning because it helps with their practice process and like actually helps nip problems in the bud and helps course direct, right, as you're going. But then from a teaching and a grading instructor standpoint, grading as you go means that when you actually get the final paper at the end, 2/3, 3/4 of it are graded and you're just assessing the final product. Like you don't have to go back through a whole portfolio. You don't have to go, maybe they're turning in all of that stuff with the scores already on it, or you've already got the scores in the computer for all the little pieces as you go, but you're just grading the end product, which is really the performance of their skills, right? So like if we're following standards and we're doing skill-based studies and we're teaching skills before content, well then there you go. That's how you score it at the very end, is that performance of what has been learned. I'm sounding a little high and mighty, and that's not what I mean to do, but I'm just trying to like make it really plain and simple. And these are the conversations that I have to have with the mirror. Like, why are you assigning this? Why are you doing this to yourself? Calm down, Marie. The mirror and I have a lot of conversations. It's often the rear view mirror in my car, but that's a video for another day, is how I have conversations with myself in the rear view mirror of my car while I'm driving. I've given away too much. Okay, so my third tip for keeping up with grading, or the strategy to employ to keep your own sanity, especially when it comes to year-end grading, when we are most often assigning those bigger, like cumulative projects that have lots of different steps along the way, and they have a whole lot of different intricate moving parts because you're bringing in a lot of different learning from the whole year or the whole course or even just a whole unit, is to create a rubric at the very beginning that explains and gives commentary on all different ways that students can possibly be graded for this assignment or project or whatever it is, to shape the assignment itself around the rubric, or vice versa, shape the rubric around the assignment, and deliver the rubric to students as part of the initial introduction to the assignment. Then you, as the teacher, have really clearly communicated their expectations for students, and you know exactly what you're looking for as you go, so that when you collect all these projects or you watch these presentations or whatever it is, you're not sitting there going, I don't know, did they do it right? Like, no, it's like there, and it's clear in a rubric, and students have had the opportunity to see what is expected of them, to ask questions, to clarify, and to use those expectations as they're creating their product to really truly show what they have learned. Another really good like bonus tip on this one is, once you have been teaching for a year or two, or even if you've got a lot of energy, a lot of creativity in your bones, create or show models of projects or work that's been like products at different levels of achievement. So I don't like to go below a C for my students. For instance, when I'm showing them mentor text for essays, I will show a C level, a B level, an A level, and sometimes variation in between, so that they can see just how words are used in analysis at an A level versus a B level versus proficient C level, right? So, and then it lets them gauge kind of where they're at and self-reflect. But like I said, that's kind of like a little bonus caveat. Just the use of rubrics from the beginning of an assignment is like life-changing. So there you have it. 3 tips, strategies that you can kind of mold and make them work for you and work for your classroom and work for your curriculum, but to just help you stay on track with grading and to make grading less of the frog you have to eat, right? Have you heard that saying, like, eat the frog? You get up in the morning and you do the hardest task first. It's called eat the frog. If you don't know what I'm talking about, pretend I never spoke. Please take a moment right now to like this video if you do indeed like videos like this. Subscribe if you haven't done so, and click the little bell so that you don't miss any videos as I am uploading new ones weekly. If you're not already following me on Instagram, please do so. I love to connect. I am sharing stuff in my classroom every single day on stories, and I'm trying to share more and more on my feed as well, so that we can open some dialogues and have some conversations. And you guys, until we meet again, good luck with your grading. Let me know how it's going in the comments down below. If you have any questions, let me know down there, and maybe give us some of your best takeaways from today. Until we meet again, my friends, bye.